So if you clicked on this video, there's probably something that you're procrastinating, and it probably involves putting yourself out there and sharing something with the world that might be a little bit scary. Maybe you want to create content like this. Maybe you want to start a podcast. Maybe you want to start a business. No matter what it is, if there's something that you really want to do, but you're not doing it because you're afraid of what others might think, you're afraid of how you'll be perceived, this is the right place. So I wanted to talk about this because I have wanted to create content on YouTube for quite a long time. And I've always thought about doing it. I've talked about doing it. And I'm sure my friends are sick and tired of hearing me say that I'm going to do it because I keep saying I will and then I don't. And when I think about why, it's so easy to come up with excuses, right? It's like, I don't know where to start, or I've just been busy, or whatever it may be. You probably have a million of those running through your brain right now too, but the truth is it's scary. You're opening yourself up to the public, you're opening yourself up to the opinions of people on the internet, which, as we all know, can be brutal. And you're also putting yourself out there in a way that you probably haven't before, and so you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how you're going to be perceived, and you're probably worried about people who you don't even really think about much or talk too much. Maybe you went to middle school with them, but for some reason it's in your brain that you're a little bit concerned what they might think about what you're doing. Trust me, I understand. I feel the same way. I mean, it's just a very human thing. I think we want to be accepted by our peers. It's a little bit scary to do something that's different. But yeah, I also have realized that it can really hold you back from so many things that you really want to do. And I guess I just got kind of tired of letting those sort of abstract fears, and thinking about situations that probably aren't very realistic. Like, most of the people you're worried about probably aren't worried about you. Most people aren't nearly as judgy as you think. Um, so yeah, a lot of those are just kind of made up fears, I would say, that make it easier to not start. And I think the other thing is, if you have wanted to do something like this for a while, if you've talked about it, if you're trying to put yourself out there, if you're trying to start something new, there's also a genuine fear that, what if you do it and you don't succeed? you know, it's a lot easier to think about something and maybe you're going to do it, maybe you're not, but that risk of failure isn't really there if you don't try. But if you do try, you actually have a chance of success, which, is kind of the flip side of that. If you actually want something to happen, you have to do it. So, anyways, I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but what I mean to say is, if you're here and there's something that you want to do and you're trying to put yourself out there, but you're afraid, I just wanted to share some strategies that have helped me and I think could potentially help you. So, the first one is kind of think about the way that content is shared on the internet, the way the algorithm works, the way social networks work. If something is good and captures your attention and gets, a lot of view time, it's going to get shared more. People are going to share it, the algorithm's going to share it. On the flip side, if it's not very good, it's not going to reach that many people. So, worst case scenario, you create something that's maybe not that good, not that many people are going to see it. So does it really matter? Not really. You think about how much content is out on the internet and how much more is being created every single day. You have to break through so much noise to reach a large number of people. I don't know if one person will watch this video. I don't know if 1,000 people will watch this video. If it's not very good, probably not going to get seen that much. And so, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to know. On the flip side, if it is good, it could reach quite a few people. And, there's really only a benefit there. So try and take away that fear of what people may think of you creating something that might not be very good. And the truth is, at the beginning, it might not be that good. And that's okay. Like, you have to start somewhere. So I think that's kind of the next point, is you have to be ready to let go of your perfectionism. There's always going to be a reason why you're not ready. You might not have the right equipment. You might not have the perfect method set up for creating your script and making it super engaging the whole way through. Maybe you're not a great editor. You only get those things by practice. And so if you're trying to wait till you have that perfectionist, that mastery, whatever you think might be good enough to put out there into the world, like, you're never going to get there. So you have to be willing to put that aside and just try stuff. And, again, like I said before, maybe it's not the very best. Maybe you're just getting started. Like, it doesn't really matter. You just have to try. So just starting and those little consistent efforts over time, putting the reps in, you will eventually get where you're trying to go, but only if you do it. So if you ever hung out with a toddler and you see how they approach things, if they're trying to learn to talk or trying to learn to walk or whatever it is they might be, they do something, they mess up, they go right back to it again, again, again. Like they don't have that fear of embarrassment. They don't have that fear of, again, what we're talking about, what others are going to think. They just try and try and try. So that's all you can do. But if you don't take that first step, like you're never going to get better. You just have to try. I think also it's really important to kind of shift your perspective. A lot of people really catastrophize and think about with the worst case scenario without really thinking about the potential upsides. So if you're currently experiencing something and you want to, try and break through that, write down a list of what are realistically the 5 worst things that could happen from doing this. So let's say you're like me and you're starting a YouTube channel and you're scared. And what are the 5 worst things that could happen? Like really think about it. Maybe it's that someone sees it and makes fun of you. I don't know. Like really think about it. But then take a step back and look at those. Like, do any of those put you in danger? Are any of those going to materially affect your life? Probably not. But then go on and write down the 5 best things you think could happen. Think about all the ways your life could be transformed by whatever it is you're trying to do, by the business you're trying to start, whatever it might be. Really think about and let yourself dream a little bit. Like if this continues down the path, there's a reason you want to do it. If it continues down the path to reach the level of success you're looking for, how might that change your life? And then sit down and look at those two next to each other. Like the negatives of, oh, somebody might make fun of me. It might be a little bit embarrassing. Or your whole career could change. Your life path could change. You could find a new passion. You can make a genuine impact on people around you. It's kind of hard to listen to those fears at that stage because the comparison just really isn't there. So shift that perspective, understand kind of the benefit that you could really be perceiving, and go from there. And I think that will help. And then if none of those work, just remember, the more morbid existential side, like life is short, all the rules are made up, we're all gonna die some point, we don't know when. And yeah, like you really only have this one life, or maybe we have more, I don't know. But we probably only have the one life. And if you think about all the things you want to do and how much you want to experience and what you think the world could have in store for you, do you really want that life to be limited by what others might think? I don't think so. So just kind of get that perspective in your mind and see if that helps. And just want to encourage you to take that first step and just see what happens, because it could create a domino effect to something that you never really expected, but only if you try. So anyways, thank you for watching. My plan is to create more content like this. I want to talk about health and wellness, mindset, productivity, leadership, all that kind of stuff. But I think the angle that I want to take a little bit differently is that I want you to experience more joy and fulfillment in your life. I don't want you to just max out on your productivity and, create a business and constantly be grinding. I want you to actually figure out how to experience joy while going after the things that you want. Because I know so many other people who have experienced a level of success in something that's not matched by any sense of fulfillment. And I know that that's no way to live. So that's my mission. If you have any interest in that, follow along. But thank you for watching, and go put something out there.